Hello everyone, welcome you all to Debugging Doubts. Today let us do a small project on full stack development. So let us build a small website and use MERN stack concept. So let us start from the scratch. I hope you all already know some MERN stack basics. So let us see the question first. So the question is here. Develop a Node.js application using Express MongoDB to manage student records with the following features. So they have given some of the features. That is, first thing, accept student details from a web form. So we need to accept the details using name, USN, department, and grade. Then what should we do? Store the submitted information in the MongoDB database. So we need to use MongoDB database to store. Then implement put route to upgrade of a student by specifying name. So when we give the name, we need to update the grade of the student and then implement the get route to display all student from the database. So we need to display student details. So first thing we need to design how it may the front end will look. So I'll just show the example. So this is how the front end should be looking. So first thing is add student where student name, USN, department and grade is given, and then submit button to submit the form. And second thing is update grade. So here the name of the student, enter new grade. So when you enter the name of the student, student name should be unique here, or you can also add USN. Then enter the new grade and then update. So wherever the USN is matched, it will update that. And then view all student. When you click on it, it should show all the student details. So this is what we need to supposed to build. So let us start with the basics. So first thing I'll open the terminal. So currently I'm in this folder and let us start the basics. So first thing I should initialize the npm. So npm init. So it will ask some values you can give if you want, or else just enter. So we have generated the package.json. Now let me clear the screen and then I will install two packages. That is npm install. That is express. So here the letter I is just a shortcut to install, or you can also write install. So it's the same. Sometimes better to write install. Then express and another one is MongoDB. So you need to install this too. So it will take some time and keep a notice on this file. So the node modules package will come now. So you can see the node modules has been installed, and in the package JSON you can see all these packages, and yeah, here you can see the dependency, that is MongoDB and Express. So you can also install specific versions too. So now not focus on that thing. Now let's create a small folder. So better to create a folder, and here I'll write we need to write student data. So I'll write student data, and this is a folder, and inside this I'll create two files. One is for backend and one is for frontend. So for backend I'll use server. So I'll give a simple name, server.js, and one more is index.html for frontend. So now let us start the code. So in the server, first thing we need to we have installed that packages, right? So let us import it using const express, then require, and one more is Mongo client. So these two file first will enter. Now let's write const app, create an object of express, then port, and then one more thing we need to use is the app.use for JSON format, that is app.use express JSON, and one more is app.use express.static, and in that we are going to write double underscore dir name. So this is very much important when you are so when you are saving the index.html, that is front end in the same folder, that is server and front end in same folder. So then you need to write dash dash dir name. So this will search for the index.html in the same folder. So if you don't write the index.html, if you write some hello.html, then dir.name plus hello.html, you need to mention it there. So now let us connect the database. So for that we use const url. So the URL of MongoDB is localhost MongoDB, okay, // 127.0.0.1, then 27017. So this is the MongoDB's local host. So it will be same for every systems because it's a local host, however. So now let us initialize the object of this Mongo client, that is const client new Mongo client URL. Okay. So let us define a function that is collection or collect something. Then we'll define a function for connecting the database, that is asynchronous. So asynchronous is very much important. I'll tell you in the coming part. Function and connect DB. So connect DB function will connect my database and then await client dot connect. So this what it does is whenever you write await, so until you connect the database, it will wait for this line only. So if the database is not connected, then it will not go further. So it will wait until this completes. So you need to write await, and whenever you write await, you need to mention function as asynchronous. So that's the main point. Now const database. So database is created from client dot then db function. So in db function you specify the database name. So you can specify anything. I'll give student grade, and then collect. So collect was my this thing collections, right? So collect, then so in the database itself you have many collections. So you need to write the same, that is db dot collections, and in that I'll mark it as grades. So grade is my collections where I can store. So instead of giving this function name and this thing as same, I'll give like student okay, like student db. So better to be on safer side. Then finally all the things have been connected. I'll write console log it to the this thing, so that database has been connected. Console.log connected MongoDB. So I need to connect. So I need to use this connect DB function, right? So I defined here. So let us call it here only connect DB, and this will call the connect DB function, and it will connect the database. So we have connected the database successfully. So I'll write here connect database to MongoDB. So this was the function. So now let us create a server. So for that I'll write app dot listen, and in that I give port. So which port I'm actually calling the server. Then you need to follow the same syntax, and then console.log, so that user will come to know whether server is running or not. And whenever you passing some messages, you can give this thing small hyphen. But if there is some value, you can directly give this symbol. So now let us close it. So we have successfully connected MongoDB, and then we have started a server. So let us test whether it's working fine or not. So to run, we have the command. First, let us see in which file folder we are. So I'll clear the screen in the terminal, and let's see by using ls command. So actually, we should go into the student grade folder. So let us do that. Cd student grade. Yeah. So now let's see we are in the correct folder. So let us call the server.js. First, I'll clear the screen. Then write the node server.js. So this node function runs the server.js. So let us try. So it's saying that student DB is not defined. So what error we have made? Yeah, in the collection function, see we have defined as double D, right? So small error. So let's rectify. Now let us clear the screen and call once again. Yeah, you can see the MongoDB is connected and server is running on the local host. So this ensures that your file is working properly. Now let us go to the creation part. So now let us create some API calls to handle all the points. So first I'll write app.post, then app.get, and app.put. So what does app.post do? So whenever the user sends some details, so it will be directly the server will handle this data to put it into the database. So app.get, whenever user asks for some kind of data, so server will search for the data from the MongoDB or any database and send to the user. And put, what it does is whenever user gives some data, so it will update it. So these three things we need in our code, right? So now let us start proceeding with it. So first thing in the port, let us call the API endpoints. So for posting, whenever students submit the data, we'll write students submit, and let us call this function as asynchronous. And then we need to write req req comma res. So what is this? So req is request and res is response, and then I write equals arrow, and then inside this we define the function. So first point, what I do is I will take the values which will be coming from the front end. So let us do that. Const. So when I write the front end command, then you'll clearly come to know what I'm doing here. So const, then take the values, that is name comma what are they asked, usn comma department comma grade, and this comes from the request dot body, from requesting. So what client is requesting, so from that body you'll get the values. Now you need to store this data in the database, right? So first let us do the schema. So that is const data for simple, then write it in the curly braces, that is what all you are taken. So my suggestion is better anytime any variable you're considering, just write it in lowercase, because the MongoDB is case sensitive, so better for your reference. Name comma usn comma department comma grade, and then you close it. Now after creating data, you need to insert somewhere, right? So you have the function, MongoDB function, that is wait. So actually I have to call try catch call, but I'm just showing the simple way to add data. So then collect. So what is this collect? We have defined it here. It is a collection, and you can see it here. So from that collect dot insert one. So we are inserting only one data at a time, that is data. So data is defined here just above, and then finally we send the response, that is response. So in response dot here we send it in the JSON format, and inside that we write a message. What message? That is student grade submitted successfully. So this is what we have defined the post function. So now let us use this command in the HTML. So in HTML, let's create a function by first you write this exclamatory mark and then press tab. You'll get entire structure. Then you need to edit student grade management, and inside the body, let us define the division. So in the division, so we have seen the structure, right? So in the division, we are adding student, and so the name block, USN, these all are inputs, and submit is a button. So let us do that. So in the division, we'll add the inputs. Input type text, student ID, place this one. Then input type, then text, then ID is USN, placeholder USN. Let's say for the department and the grade. And finally, we need to add the button, that is button function, and ID. ID is actually not equal, so I'll write on click function. So what does this do? So whenever you click the button, so it will call a function, that is submit form. So let's specify in a single course. So actually it's small. Okay, on click function. One all a small case. So you will call this function, and then let's copy this, and now we'll write for update. So let us specify here only. So that is h1. So the student grade management system, and here I write h2 for enter student details. Then for update, let's specify with h2 only, and update option. And here we'll give only the student name or student USN. So let us give student USN as it is unique, and then the new grade, and let us write here new grade. And this will update form. So I'll write update. And same thing we need to add for display, right? So let us do that. Display students, and here let us write the division. So For display, let us give only one button because show all records. So that is button on click display students, and it will just call that function. And now we need to left with only script function. So let us write the script. So you need to write the script in the end of the text. That is just before closing body, you need to mention the script. That is script, and just close it. And inside that, which function you need to initialize? Submit form. So let us do that. First, the form should you need to say that function is asynchronous. Submit form, and then inside that, first thing, let us create the data. So const data equals, then inside data let us write all the structures what you all need. So name, so name we'll get from, now you use the dom, so that is document dot get element by id. So by using the id of particular input text field, that is you can see enter the student in the enter details. Okay, you can see the id student, this id should be unique for each of the input. So each of the block it should be have unique id. So enter student name, let us write it here, and dot value. So value will does the work is in the name, whatever value you have typed, so it will get the value. Now do for others, that is USN, department, and grade. So this way you add for everything. Now after creating the data, you need to call for backend. For that thing, we'll write const response or const res equals await function fetch, and what API call you have used for the server, that is in the post. You can see student submit, right? So you need to mention the same path. So this should match here. So now let us write student, and then write comma, and then you mention this method. So this function you need to keep in the mind. Okay, post, then header. I'll tell why we are using this. Okay, so the method post is whenever we send this to the student submit function, means student submit API and call. So we are making a post. What is the post? So the server should save what all data we have passed to the backend. So whenever we post any data to the backend, the server should store it into the database. That is what the meaning of post. So now the content type. So what content we are using? JSON format. So we write application slash JSON, and in the body we define JSON.stringify data. So whenever we call in the response, we have managed that, right? See, whenever we have called response.body, so same the JSON data will go there. So this data is in a normal form, right? Object form. So we need to convert it into JSON. So JSON.stringify, this function we need to use in the center data in the body. And finally, after sending the data, we need to inform user, right, that data is sent successfully. So const result await rest.json. Here you call the JSON function, and you can see in the response we have already defined. So rest.json, the message is been sent. So same thing will alert to the user. So if rest.okay, so if the result is okay, only then alert result.message. Else, what should we do? Alert it as error message. Okay. So this is what we need to write. So this is what we have defined the submit form button. Same thing goes for the update. So instead of writing, I'll just copy and just I'll tell the basics so that time is saved. So I have copied the update form. You can see name, document, get element from ID. So update name. So what we have given for ID? USN, right? So I'll write update USN and grade as new grade, because the ID should be different for each of the input. So here we'll write update USN and new grade. Okay, so we take the values, and same thing, after getting the data, you will call the update grade API and calls. Then what you write put. So whenever you get the value, you need to fetch the details and you need to update it. And the content type is same, application.json, and stringify the data so that you will pass the data to body. And same, when you get the result, you just store in the result and just print it here. Now let us write the view function. It's also same. I'll just copy it here. So you can see the view function. Here we are using no data, right? So we are passing no data. Just we are clicking on the button and it will send the backend. So we directly write let's fetch the value from this API and call, that is view students. So we need to define it here there properly, and then only you'll get the proper value. So the get element by ID. So this actually it's not required. I'll just comment it off. And after getting the result from the response, so it will store in the list, and this list I'll console it in the log list. So it will be displayed in the front end. So the front end code is working properly, but we need to write this proper value. So now let us focus on the backend now. So here we need to define this get and this put. So let us so first thing I'll just copy paste and just explain that. So now I copied the get and the put function. So let us verify whether the API calls are proper or not. So in the index we check the API call for display function, that is view students. Let's copy it, and instead of this let us paste it by view student. So these two things should be matched, and then what we do in the list, we use the function, that is we use select, right, instead of this one. Okay, select dot find everything, then convert it to array, then you send it to the list, and response.json, this list will be sent to the front end. Then in the put function, let us check this. So upgrade grade, right? So where is the put function? So update form. So which API we are calling? Update grade. So let us copy this, and in the server let us see this update grade. Both are same. Now we check the name. So better every time just give small case letters, and it's collect, and the name is small name because the MongoDB is case sensitive, and yeah, everything looks fine now. So now we need to run the server so that the front end will be displayed properly. So let us save this file properly, and then now let us run the server, that is node server.js. Okay, the server is running successfully. Now let us check the front end. So I'll click on the link, and this is the front end. So we have just made a small so now let us write the name. my name, then USN is 1234, and department CSE, then grade is something 9.4, and then I'll just submit. So student grade submitted successfully. Now I need to see the display student, right? So let us click that display student. But I haven't get anything displayed here. Why? Because in the function we have used it here in the front end. You can see console.log. Instead of making these big changes, I made small change, that is console.log. So you need to check in the console. So for console, write F12, or you can go to this one, inspect. In the more tools, you get developer tools, and from there you can see it's already been here. Area fun. So what suppose if I click once again display student, you can see once again it is showing the name, username, all the stuff. So now let us write here something A B C, and this is 4321 9.0 submit. So once again it is submitted display student. Now you can see there are two values. So one is my name and one is ABC. So now let us update using the USN. Now let us test whether it is working fine or not. So this is 4321. So for this user name I'm doing it, and new grade is something like 9.9, and submit update successfully. Now let us display the student. So let us check whether it is updated from 9. What is it, 9.2 to 9.9. Yeah, it is not been updated, like it is 9.2. So there is some small error. So let us try to rectify that thing. So as you can see here, we have taken the name instead of USN. So we'll just write USN, and write this as USN. So it will search for USN instead of name. And in the front end, let us check whether we have done properly or not. In the update form, you have used USN, and then sending also you have sent the same thing, but you have written name. So I'll write it as USN, and yeah, everything looks fine now. So now let us save this file, and Control C, terminate, and then clear the screen. Now let us run once again the server, and it is been running. Now let us check, refresh this page, then display student. You can still see two student name. So ABC, that is 4321, and it is being 9.2. So let us change that 4321 USN, and new grade is 9.9, and then submit. Updated successful. Then display student, and now you need to see the changes. It is still 9.2. So let us check if there is any error, and yeah, you can see instead of writing grade, so here you are using small case and here you are using capital letter. So better change this, and new grade, and let us check whether you are, yeah, you can see it's small. Let us change it here to, it is grade, new grade. It comes from your new grade. Okay, so now everything looks fine. Now let us cancel this, clear screen, and once again start the server, and it is being started. Let's refresh this page. I'll just check the student details. Once again it's same. Now let us write 4321, and the new grade is 9.9, and let us check update successful. And now let us display. So again to student name, so let us check 431 and 9.9. So this is successfully done. So similar way you can also use the delete function, and in that also instead of writing, so I'll show the case. So they have not mentioned to write any delete function, but you can do the same thing. So you can take the same from body, what USN or something specific term, that is USN is only one USN for one student, right? So it is specific, so you can use that. And then await collection, then instead of update you need to write delete, and then USN, and then send the data back. And in the front end the same thing happens. So for that thing I'll write the code and update it. So I hope you all understood, and this was all for today. And if you like my videos, please like it, share it, and subscribe it. And thank you all guys for watching.